I want you to make a choice. You can obviously choose to give me this money by cash, EFT, or check. If you have a lot of money, no problems, up to you.
Right.
But let me tell you what I suggest. A lot of my clients do the CTI loan. Do you know why?
No, please.
Well, if you give me all your money, will you have money to trade with?
Not as much as I would have.
Wouldn't it be better to take 20 grand and put in your trading account?
Well, yes.
If you have it cash?
Well, yes.
So the nice thing about doing that is you could rather use the money that you have to trade with. If you do it with CTI, I think it's, and please don't quote these figures on this video because they might get outdated, interest rates might change, etc. I think at the moment it's, so if you use CTI, it's 1,461 Rand a month, and then please don't forget about the 249 Rand by debit order. But the cool thing about this is you can take all the cash that you have and put in your trading account. And now I'm going to ask him the closing question. But you know what, Wesley? It's your choice. Which one of these two options will be best for you? Watch what I've done before he even answers. I've given him a choice to say, yes, I want it in this way, or yes, I want it in another way. You all with me?
Yeah.
So, Wesley, which one of these two would be the best choice for you?
Well, the CTI, because then I'll have more money to invest.
Well, excellent. Welcome on board.
Thank you.
Can I ask you something?
And I happily shake his hand before Dean asks me something. Now, I want to give you a practical tip because this is part of closing where you can really screw it up. If you're at this point in time, the presentation, and you've gone to the previous page on the left-hand side with secrets of trading success, you've unpacked the tin. The tin is on the table, everything's unpacked and whatever, and that enrollment form is right at your fingertips. So when I shake the person's hand and I say, welcome on board, let me start by asking you, what is your full names as it appear in your ID book? I've got the enrollment form there. I open the thing and I can start writing. Please don't be one of those very ignorant people that when the guy says, I'll do it like this, now you want to dig down, open your bag and start searching for 3 minutes for your enrollment form. That's how you really screw it up. That's like the girl says, okay, I'm happy to have sex with you, and you say, okay, let me just find the condom, and now you start walking around the house because you don't know where you put it. Am I right?
Yep.
So all your, I'm serious. I mean, I'm sure you've been in that situation. Or if you have not, you will be when you have a colorful life. I mean, you plan all your stuff up front, not so? So you cannot be in a situation where things are not at your fingertips. Any case, Dean, you had a question. What was your question?
Two, actually. So the first one was on that 1461 or whatever. Okay. When I write that out, before I ask him to choose, I say to him, do you see that the amount that you can make from trading per month can cover that cost? And you can still have profits left over.
I'm very nervous about that, and let me tell you why. You have got to once again have the right word choice. So let me tell you first the right word choice, and then I'll give you the wrong word choice. So what Dean is saying, you can go to your 4 page. You can refer back to this page and say, look, you started with 5,000 bucks. And look, now it's turned into 89,000 Rand. And you know, if you start making this line, you know what? If you're making, on your 4 pages, if you're making 89,000 bucks on your 4 quadrants, can you see that this thing could pay for itself?
I show him the month part, though, not
yes.
the annum.
I understand what you're saying. He shows him the month part. If you want to do that, in principle, I don't have a problem with saying, you know what, Dean, what's really cool? Let me pitch the right word choice. You know what, Dean, what's really cool? If you do your part, if you study this course, if you trade, if you follow the steps that we tell you, and you are willing to learn, do you know that you could make the kind of money for this to pay for itself.
Yeah.
You're aware of that?
No, yeah.
It's possible.
Yes.
So if you could do that, you won't have to pay for this out of your own pocket. Your profits from the stock market could pay for it.
Yeah, then I say to him, do you see that that's worth it? And they go, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, that's good. Why I don't do it in every training session is I get very nervous. I don't want any of you to go out there and say to a person, you know what, you're going to make so many profits, this thing's going to pay for itself. Because then we are going to land in trouble. The client is going to do absolutely nothing. He's not going to make a success. And he's going to come back and say, you promised me I will make the money to pay for this. That is our risk. So if you want to say to him, please, your word choice is critical. You've got to make sure that he understands you could make it. There's no guarantee. I'm not promising it to you. It's possible. You're going to have to get off your ass and do this thing, etc., etc., etc. If I'm confident that you understand that part and you can do it right, then you can use it.
Okay.
But I don't want to tell that to a beginner because they will run out there and promise people stuff and it's not cool.
Yeah. And then my second question is on the 12 secrets of trading success.
Yes.
What happened, one guy was, so I'm going through all of this stuff with him and he's like making these papers dirty and doing the whole thing. And when I got to the pricing, he said he can't afford any of it. Like literally he couldn't. He had 2,000 rand in the bank. He couldn't afford the thing.
Yes.
So then I'm kind of saying like, okay, now you've spread the shit everywhere. Let me take it back.
Okay. Okay. I hear what you say. So let me answer you. At this point in time, on the 23rd of June 2016, it cost us 65 rand with our printers to print the flashcards. So no one wants to give someone a messy product. If your client really messes it up and he doesn't buy from you because he can't afford it, I will happily replace it for you. I'm happy to take a knock of 65 rand. What I do not want to do, and please, just so that you can, if I replace 10 cards, it's 650 rand. If I replace 100 sets of flashcards, it's 6,500 rand. Now it's not cool. So in an extreme situation, if your stuff gets all messed, I will happily replace it for you. But I don't want to do it with every presentation that don't buy.
Exactly.
What I do like about the feedback that Dean is giving me is I think he did a very good presentation because the client said to him, you know what, I can't afford it. And then there's no shame in that. Then you've done your job spectacularly well. Then you've built a good relationship with a person to be able to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And then you can leave there with a clean conscience without worrying, what did I do wrong? Did the person not buy because of something I did or did not do? Everyone there? Okay.
I've got one more question.
Can I have as many questions as you like? I've still got a few minutes for us to... 9 minutes before I really have to go.
Okay, so
ask me all the other
in
questions.
terms of taking the contracts out and stuff, what I do is I have like a nice little file or whatever. So if I'm looking for the contract, I can see immediately if it's the rental or whatever. So I pull it out immediately after he says he wants to sign up.
Okay, I'm going to give you practical advice. What I do when I get to an appointment, I unpack all my stuff on the guy's desk up front.
Okay.
I never ever. One of the things, just by the way, I don't want to forget to give this compliment. One of the things that I really like about the way that Wesley presents is he's got great eye contact. He doesn't just pitch to me, but he's looking at what is my response, am I with him, which is really positive. But coming back to Dean's question, unpack everything you need. I would prefer you to use the contract in the tin.
Okay.
So let me tell you what I do. When I get to a person's office, obviously introduce myself, we start socializing, and I say to the guy, look, let me get all my stuff so that I can start asking you some questions about the stock market. I put my worksheets for my presentation out. I have my calculator on the table. I have my cell phone if I need to calculate something there. I've got a black pen that I'm going to write with. I've got a red pen for my... So I never go to an appointment without two pens. I always have my black pen to pitch with and my red pen to make extra notes that I want to focus on it. And I always tear pages off my presentation pack and stack it all over his desk as I go along. And when I unpack the tin, I make sure that when everything is on the go there, that I have that folded enrollment form very close by. So when I say to the person, welcome on board, I don't have to break eye contact and now go, even if it is in your bag and you know where it is, and you can easily access it, it's much easier if you could take the paperwork, fold it there, put it down and say, okay, and you look the person eye and what is your full names as it appear in your ID book.
And I assume it also gives the client some closure that there's going to be paperwork, as opposed to like he says, okay, I'm in, and all of a sudden there's this shitload of paperwork.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course. So can I relate it back to sex again?
Sure.
Just so that I know all of you can identify with it. Should I or shouldn't I? Maybe let me do it in any case. I've already said it on the recording. So when you invite someone over to your place where you live, and the girl comes along, and you know, some candles, there's soft music in the background. Discreetly, there are some condoms on a side table with some jellies and balloons, and I mean, there's.
She knows what's up, yeah.
Of course. She knows that you're going to make love to her.
Yeah.
So the same thing with your client. And please, you know, yesterday I recited a list of qualities that I believe a good salesperson needs to have. I was talking to people about you've got to have a good memory. I was saying to them you've got to be a good closer. I was saying to them that you've got to be a good teacher. But one of the things that I don't often highlight is that you've also got to be confident. Because people, let me ramble on about confidence. Any of you ever walked into a store, even if it's a clothing store, and some assistant comes to help you and you ask them for something and they don't really know? Or they're unsure, or they're not confident to help you and say, what is the first thing that you feel? I want to walk out. I want to say to that person, can't you get someone who's competent to help me?
I'm dealing with the wanker.
There we are. So please remember, when you go and see people, you can be confident. The wonderful thing for them is they don't know what we know around this table. Even if you stuff up your presentation, they won't even know it. They've never seen this before. They don't know what to expect. You can really be confident. Even if you're bad, you'll sell some deals.
Confidence will sell you.
Of course. So just go in there and relax and do your thing.
I've got another question.
Yes.
So if you get a referral, they're obviously going to receive the exact same pitch. How do you like alter it a little bit or something so that they feel
You
like
don't.
it's not?
No.
Okay, so you just give them the exact same pitch. They know it
Of
gets to the
course.
same answers.
If you're making money baking beautiful, wonderful cakes, and someone says, this person's cakes are great, another person comes and says, I also want a cake, are you going to change the recipe so that they have a different taste than the oaks who...
No, of course not.
No.
Okay.
I'll ramble on about that. I'll tell you how I've made a lot of deals. I'll give you two scenarios that's happened to me. The most sales that I've ever made in a single week,
It's 13.
13 deals that I banked where the people paid. And I did 14 presentations.
Whoa.
That's good.
Monday to Thursday, 4 working days. I did all those presentations in at Western Deep levels. It's a mine here by Carltonville side. It was an Anglo-American mine when I did those presentations. And how I did 14 presentations for the week is my appointments were booked with the rock engineering department, and they had 14 engineers. So I started there on Monday. The wonderful thing